Hello and welcome to Kitchen Counter Crafts. If you like this video, would you please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Today I have something a little different, and again, I don't know why, I just kind of feel like I can do something maybe a little cheaper when I see things online, and one of those things is the Traveler Notebook. And I didn't want to fork over, I don't know, like almost $40 for a passport size notebook. So I purchased this one from Amazon, and I can put the link below. And the reason why I have this kind of off to the side is because this strap here gets stuck. So I had to like hammer it down and actually cut off some of the edges to make it not get stuck. And then I also had to just stretch this part out. And then anyway, so it's very nice. However, it's like really not quite getting my pens in there. And yes, I have a Uniball Signal in here, which it's just there because this slot is way too skinny to put any other fountain pens in there. Plus the ones I do put in there have to be not a snap cap, because if I have a snap cap, it gets stuck in here. So that didn't go very well. And you can see how it's kind of warping here as well. Then I added this so I could put a insert in here, because first I kind of put the insert in here. That didn't go well. That notebook got stuck also. So all in all, it's not bad. It's about, I don't know, it's like 20 bucks or something like that. So not bad. And then I thought, well, I have some leather. Why don't I just make one? Because all of the Midori types that I saw were, I mean, literally just a piece of leather. And so I have some leather that I know an interior designer who is getting rid of some of her samples, and she said just come by and come grab everything. So I have a bunch of these leather scraps, and I thought this I think will work. So this one is right at 9 inches, and it's almost 6 inches, or just a little shy of 6, if you can see that. Can you see that? Let me put it this way. Yep, just a hair short of 6 inches. So a 9 by 6-ish piece. And that, believe it or not, is just about the right size for a passport holder. Look at that. Isn't that great? So anyway, when I figured out that I was literally sitting on a gold mine, I was pretty excited. Now, the only thing is that this is pretty substantial. So it's nice and heavy. This is soft and very flimsy leather. Even these pieces, I think this is the only one that's not bad. So it says like price category D. That tends to be a little bit better, most likely better leather, but the ones I have are F for flimsy and then G for not that great either. This C is actually a little bit better too. So anyway, so this is pretty flimsy leather, but you know what? Doesn't matter. What I wanted to do was to see if I could actually make something not as nice as this, but you know, something that'll look like a traveler's notebook. So I watched a couple of videos, and one of them said, I think it's Sea Kiss, not Sea Lemon, because I really love hers. She used 2mm, and I didn't watch hers first, but I watched Sea Kiss because I thought it was Sea Lemon. I got really confused with the SEA names. And this one is what they were using, and it's 1mm cording. It is really thin, very thin. You can't really see it. 1mm, not that thick. And I thought it looked pretty good when I got it. And then as soon as I started playing with it, it was very thin. However, it's nice quality. So it is premium quality elastic cord. So, you know, I might probably use it for something else. But here's what I ended up making. So As you can tell, it's dipping in here a little bit. See that? So I may actually add a little bit of fabric or something like that. But it's got that kind of Midori style to it. There we go. And so I don't like the little Midori tabby thing that they have. I mean, first I liked it, and then I was like, I'd rather just have it flush. Plus, do I really want a bead sticking out, scratching things? So I made it flush without anything. And yeah, I don't know about this little divot. To cover the holes, there's the holes from this right here. I just added a piece of trim, and I don't know if you can tell, but I stitched it incorrectly first because, again, this is super thin and it moved on my sewing machine, and so I ended up taking that out and putting this in. This is for me anyway. It was just a mock up so that I could figure out what I was doing and figure out how it would turn out. And I'm actually pretty darn pleased with it. So here it is. It's just no frills. I still left this in here because I thought that was kind of cool that it's a traveler's notebook, but it's called luggage. A little nod to that. So I left it in here. I just thought that was kind of nice to figure out. So if you would like to know where I got this little insert, which does have fountain pen paper in it, I have another video where I make these. So it fit perfectly in here, and I have it this way. But wait, there's more. After you're done with this, you can take that out. Great. Who knew it's just a piece of leather? Okay, so what I would like to do now is show you how to make your own. All right, so you ready? It's actually not that complicated. So once you figure it out, it's pretty great. I'm just going to use this thin one because I don't know, I can. And so we're just going to go with this. Plus it's got the nice brown leather and it matches that one there. That one there, this here. All right, so I know what you're thinking. Mona, I have no leather working tools. That's okay. If you have a hammer and a nail, you have leather working tools. You do need to buy some cording. I would recommend not getting the 1mm, maybe getting 1.5 or even 2, but I will go ahead and put this one on because as I mentioned, it's actually not that bad. For this size, it's pretty great. So I'm not having any complaints on that one at all. And I'm going to go ahead and use it on this one. I think it's thin enough to kind of be out of the way and doesn't really doesn't look bad. Okay, so I have my elastic cording, and what I'm going to do is use a AWL, and this I use for all kinds of paper crafting. In fact, I think this is one of the tools that I didn't know I needed, but now that I have it, I literally can't live without it. So I'm going to put this side with the holes at the front, and it doesn't matter if you decide like, oh, by the way, you don't have to have leather samples. You can use up anything. I'm going to be posting another video where I cut up my husband's old leather messenger bag, and then I'm going to be making a couple of these for him and a couple different sizes. But again, I didn't want to use the nicer leather for his without practicing it on this first. And if you do not have leather and you want to try something else, go grab some cotton canvas and you can do the same thing, because a Midori is literally just a flap. So it's great. I suggest getting some leather. Don't get vinyl. Leather's actually not that expensive to source. And so I'll put a couple sites, or honestly, you can YouTube it and figure that out too. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is figure out where is the middle, and it's right there. Yeah, or, you know, You could measure it. That would be good. So this is right at 6 inches. So there it is at the 3 point. I just don't mind eyeballing it. I don't think anybody out there is going to be saying, oh, wow, you totally didn't do that right. Okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So one of the things you want to do before you make any holes is figure out the halfway point, which is right here. Okay, I'm going to just put a little dot there. No, I'm not going to make a scrapey with it. You can't see what I'm doing, can you? There we go. All right, so now I'm going to put the scrapey marks at the top and at the bottom, and then I'm going to connect those lines. Again, if you have just a hammer and a nail, you can do the same thing. Just make sure you're nailing into something like a piece of wood and not your kitchen counter. All right, so 4.5 is where I'm measuring, and then I'm gonna just zoom out here. And I made 3 marks, and I'm going to show you how to line them up. This is like the most measuring I'll ever do. All right, so you just use this awl to scrape it up, and it will give you, wow, a mark. And then now I'm going to measure the halfway point, which is right here. All right. And now I will make this first hole. And the awl, it's super short, sharp. Yes, I have actually cut myself with it. It's that sharp. And this is what I use to make the other hole also. So I just kind of stab it a couple times until you can see light through it. All right. So the next couple holes that I made were like this. I did not, gosh, you can't see them. I didn't measure it out, but I think it's about 1/2 inch from the, no, it's not even. So I was trying to go for 1 inch up and then a kind of a halfway mark, but I didn't quite make it. So again, you can utilize, if you have a hole punch, you can use that. I have this thing called a crocodile, and again, it's for my other crafts, and so this worked beautifully. If you don't know how to use a crocodile, the nice thing is it's got 1 inch mark here. You can see that it has 2 hole sizes. This one's a bigger one. Well, it tells you what size. No, it doesn't. I just lied. Okay, I thought it, yes, it does. Okay, that has a 1/8 mark, and that's a 3/16. Okie dokie. So I'm gonna use the 1/8 hole, or the smaller and the larger. Okay, and I can actually see the line that I made on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 1 inch again here. And then halfway from the inch. Okay. And then I cannot see the line here, no. There we go. I'm just gonna scrape up the leather. And so this is, the crocodile is a hole punch for leather. Oh, did I do the bigger one? No, that's the same size. Okay, that's good. Just making sure. The last one I kind of did a couple things I shouldn't have. But that's what the whole trial and error is for. Ooh, that one came down way too low, but that's okay. Hopefully nobody's looking at this too keenly. Okay, and then this is the center one. So this one needs a little bit of help because it's not all that nice nicely done from the crocodile. There's also a thing called a Japanese hole punch, and I was quite interested in that. You literally just go chuk, 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 and it makes holes in everything. And I'm just going, and you can't see anything I'm doing. So there you go. Okay, so that's the inside, that's the outside. And it doesn't matter which one's the top or bottom right now. Even with my measuring, you can kind of tell this hole is a little bit off center. But again, these are the trial ones. I'm not working on the expensive leather yet. So now you are going to make a loop with your elastic, and you are gonna feed it through the center hole. Okay, so this is I think probably the trickiest part. Come on. Because this hole kind of disappears. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna try and feed it through. If I can't feed it through, I'm going to show you a trick. No, I can't feed it through. Let me show you. All right, so I have a needle and thread. Don't worry about the length of the thread. I'm working on another project, of course. And so what you want to do is start at the back. So find the hole that you made, and grab your thread. And, wait, no. You got to go the other way. Sorry about that. I put a knot in it and it's not working. Come on. Okay, figure that out. So feed it from the front. And no, it doesn't need to have a knot. It doesn't need to have anything. You are going to put the needle and thread through, and then put it through the hole again. Try not to actually get the other thread so that you're not actually sewing anything. What you're interested in doing is, watch this. So again, it doesn't matter the length on your thread. What you're trying to do is get this on the other side, right? So you just feed this amount through, and watch, you're literally just making a loop that brings it through. Isn't that great? So, can't believe that worked. Hey, hey. All right, so that's just a sewing trick I learned a while ago. Okay. So what I want to do is have enough here that I feed this through here. Okay, I'm just already doing this. And then you're gonna put this through here. And look, I don't have enough, right, to go back through, but that's okay because you haven't done anything. So you're just gonna try and feed this so that you have enough. So you have enough here to do that. Oh, I just pulled it out. Gosh. I just wanted to do that needle trick again. I was so proud of myself. Okay. Like I said, I don't really edit my videos, so you kind of get what you get. There we go. All right, so the bottom line is I was just trying to have enough here so that you can feed it through there, go here, and then have enough to tie a knot, and then you can cut. So this is a good length, probably even too much. I don't need all that much, but I'm going to hold on to that because I'm trying to get enough here so that, yes, I know this is wonky, so that you can take it and actually pull it around. So as you can tell, that's not enough. Let me grab a little bit more, but I don't want to lose this one or that one. Just gonna pull a little bit more here. I think that should be pretty good. Let's try it again. Wow, that's way too much. So now I can I wanted to have a tiny little bit of play in there so that I'm not doing too much here. All right, but look at what it's doing. It's puckering up. Okay, there we go. Got it. Okay, so that's my length there for the loop. So now I need this to go up and through and down and around. So I kind of want about that much. So I'm going to cut it right there. Should be enough. So what I did was I put it through the center, right? Make your loop. Go in and out and up so that you can hang on to it. And then just measure this part out so that you can go through and here. Now, if you wanted to add a bead or whatever, you could easily do that. Here, let me just do one here. Okay, so I stopped the video. It took me a while to find a bead that would have a hole big enough to fit through there. So here's a couple that I found. I don't want them to look girly because, I don't know, this might not be for somebody else. So look, that one's not too bad. So let's just see how that looks. I'm not 100% sold on the bead. I don't know. Maybe I will be. Okay, so that's literally what you do. Let me show you what that looks like on the flip side. I don't know. I think I'm gonna need your thoughts on that. I guess that's not too shabby. Yeah, okay, that adds a little something there. Yeah, I'm not 100%. See, it's just like, ugh. Do I keep it? Do I not keep it? You know what? I'm gonna keep it for now. Just go ahead and make it. I have other string. I can just take it off again. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and tie this, and you want to tie it. It's going to pull up on itself a little bit, and that's okay. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. Why don't I show you what I'm doing here? All right. So this is actually a little hard to see. What do I do? Okay, just found a little, there, that's a little better. Okay, so this is just a regular knot, right? So this is how the pieces came together. You are just making a regular knot, one over the other, like that, to do a regular knot. A surgeon's knot is actually where you loop through one more time. Okay, so you kind of end up with this, and if you pull that tight, it's not going to be going anywhere. There we go. Okay, so it raises up the corners just a tad bit, and that is okay. So there's your whole thing all done. Oh golly, I didn't even check this. Okay, that's okay. It scared me. It has a little bit of play up and down here because you can kind of adjust that a little bit if it gets too tight or too loose. So that's kind of the nice thing about the Traveler. Even though you put a knot in it, no, I just kind of, I think, pulled it too much. There we go. Okay, just adjusting here. All right, should be fine. Okay, now, what am I doing? Let's try this. So here's my stitched notebook. And guess what? It fits in beautifully. So since that's all good, I'm going to trim this. You can trim it as close as you would like. You can also put some like, oh, couldn't see anything that I was doing. There we go. You can trim it as close as you like on that also. And now to close it, there it is. And voila, there it is. Even with a jewel, how about that? Well, why don't you let me know what you think? Do you like it with the jewel? Do you not like it with the jewel? Oh yeah, that's the front, right? So that's gonna have to be the back now since the jewel is, I was thinking that's the top. So there you go. Now I made the front like this, so I'll just add a little something nice on the back for this. And what I may do is actually add a pocket or something like that and stitch that up so that it looks nice and, you know, something else to create now. So one of the things you can do is take some scrap leather and add something to the back like a pocket. So I don't have much here other than my other ones here. So, you know, what I would probably do is, you know, use this kind of a side to just kind of stitch it up. Not this one. I think that looks hideous together. But anyway, I just put a pocket. And I have a lot of fabric. I may even put a canvas fabric there so that it looks like a nice contrast to this mini traveler style notebook. So again, hopefully you're making these for yourself or some friends, like for gifts. If you want to sell them, I would suggest measuring and really trying a few of these to see how you do. Also, there's a lot of different leather stores where you can source your leather, and you can kind of experiment with that to see what kind of grade that you can find. But I do want to tell you that these are fairly flimsy, and so but I don't know, I kind of love it, and I don't mind that they're bendable, that I can, you know, put it even like this, throw it in my purse or whatever, do some notes and things like that. So I thought this was going to be a short video, ends up being a long video. Hopefully you made it through this far and enjoy it, and let's see what you end up creating. If you have tips for me, would you please share them? Because again, this is kind of a new thing for me and I'm enjoying it, but I know that other people know how to do this much better than I do. So I'd love to hear what you think, and till the next video, bye.